Okay, so you've created this incredible training program,
Yeah.
but how do you really know it's working, like actually making a difference?
Right.
That's where a solid evaluation design plan comes in. It's
Exactly.
like your proof that the training delivers.
It really is.
And today we're going to deep dive into two key documents,
Okay.
a rubric and a template
Sounds good.
to help you create a top-notch evaluation plan.
A lot of people, I think, treat evaluation as like an afterthought, like a chore.
Yeah.
But a well-designed plan can be so much more than that.
Right.
It's not just about proving the value.
Yeah.
It's also about making the training even better.
And speaking of roadmaps, the template you've shared is really designed to guide anyone through the process. Right? It's like a recipe for evaluation success.
It is. And just like a recipe, the template has specific sections, steps to follow. But then how do we know if we've baked a good cake, so to speak? That's where the rubric comes in. It's like the judging criteria for a baking competition.
I like that analogy.
It lays out exactly what makes an excellent evaluation design plan.
Okay, so if the template is our recipe, the rubric is telling us if our cake is blue ribbon worthy.
I like it.
What are some of the key things we should be looking for?
I would say one of the most important is the why behind your evaluation.
Okay.
It's not enough to say, well, we're doing this because we have to.
Yeah.
The rubric wants you to really articulate your specific goals and outcomes that you're hoping to achieve.
So we really need to justify our choices.
You do.
Not just follow some kind of checklist.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I see the rubric mentions levels of evaluation. Is this where Kirkpatrick comes in?
Exactly. Kirkpatrick's 4 levels provide a really clear structure for evaluating training effectiveness.
Okay.
But the rubric isn't just checking if you know the levels. It's pushing you to think about how you're applying them. For example, are you simply measuring satisfaction?
Okay.
That's level 1.
Right.
Or are you going deeper and assessing on-the-job performance? That's level 3.
Got it.
Yeah.
And to be clear, for this particular evaluation plan, we're focusing on levels 1 through 3, right?
That is correct.
Okay, perfect.
We're honing in on the training itself.
All right, so we've got the template, which is our recipe.
Right.
We've got the rubric that's judging our final product.
Yeah.
Let's walk through the template section by section.
Okay.
See how it all comes together.
Sounds good.
Let's start at the beginning,
All right.
the introduction.
This section might seem basic,
Okay.
but it's more than just stating the obvious.
Right.
This is your chance to lay out the why behind your evaluation.
Okay.
Why are you evaluating this specific program?
Okay.
What are the goals you're trying to achieve?
I see.
Yeah.
So everything's connecting back to the rubric.
It is.
We need to be able to justify our choices.
Exactly. You're making the case for why this evaluation is important, why the choices you're making in the plan are the right ones.
Okay, so we set the stage with a strong introduction. And then it's time to dig into the Kirkpatrick levels.
Okay.
Starting with level 1.
Right.
Reaction.
This is all about capturing those immediate reactions. Did participants find the training engaging or relevant?
Yeah.
Did they like the materials? The facilitator?
Makes sense.
So to get this data, the template prompts you to think about your tools.
Okay.
A simple post-training survey with scales or multiple choice questions can be really effective.
But what if I want to go a little bit beyond just checking boxes?
Sure.
How do I get more detailed feedback?
Well, you could incorporate open-ended questions in your survey to allow for more detailed responses.
Okay.
Or if you have a smaller group, you could even do a short discussion or individual interviews to really delve into those initial impressions.
So really pick the tools that align with your goals.
Exactly.
And the type of data you need.
Yes.
So we're already seeing how the rubric and the template work together.
They do.
The template gives us the structure.
Right.
The rubric is encouraging us to think critically
Yes.
about our choices and justify why we're using those tools.
That's exactly right.
And remember, the rubric isn't there to scare you.
No.
It's there to guide you
It is.
towards creating a truly effective evaluation plan.
Exactly.
Think of it like a mentor who's pushing you to do your best work.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let's move on to level 2.
Okay.
Which is all about measuring what participants have learned.
Okay, so we've gotten a feel for their initial reactions.
Yeah.
Now we need to see if the information is actually sinking in.
Right.
What are some of the methods we can use?
One of the classic approaches, and one that the template highlights, is using quizzes or tests. These are really effective for measuring knowledge acquisition.
Okay.
You can use multiple choice, true, false, even short answer questions.
Right.
Depending on the content and the level of detail you're looking for.
That makes sense for straight knowledge.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at the rubric here. It seems to really emphasize going a step further.
It does.
It talks about assessing skills and application.
That's right.
Not just the facts.
Yeah.
So how do we do that?
So if we want to see if people can actually use what they've learned, the template encourages us to think about performance assessments or simulations.
So give me an example.
Let's say you're training people on a new software program.
Okay.
Instead of just asking them multiple choice questions about the interface, you could have them complete a simulated task that mirrors what they would actually do on the job.
So we're pushing beyond just that theoretical knowledge. Into practical application.
Exactly.
This rubric really wants to make sure our evaluation is thorough.
It does.
Okay, so what about level 3?
All right.
Application.
This is where things get really interesting.
Right.
Because now we're looking at the long-term impact.
Yeah.
The rubric really stresses how important it is to show how the training impacts job performance.
Okay.
And the template offers some great approaches.
Okay, like what?
Follow-up surveys,
Okay.
administered a few weeks, or even months after the training, are very useful.
So you're asking them about specific changes they've made in their work.
Exactly.
Because of the training.
As a result of the training.
Okay.
Or you can get feedback from their supervisors or colleagues.
Okay, so follow-up surveys seem like a natural extension of level 1.
They are.
But geared toward actual outcomes.
Yes.
But what if we want something a little bit more concrete?
Yeah.
How do we go beyond self-reporting?
Right.
And actually observe?
You could use observation checklists.
Yeah.
Let's say you've provided sales training.
Okay.
You could create a checklist that outlines specific behaviors or techniques covered in the training.
Right.
And then a supervisor could use that checklist during actual sales calls or interactions with customer.
To see if they're actually using what they've learned.
To see how well they're applying those techniques.
So it's a more objective way
It is.
to measure that on-the-job application.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But what if we want even more nuanced insights
Yeah.
into this whole application process?
Yeah.
What challenges are people facing? Or maybe there are unexpected benefits that we didn't even think about.
You could use focus groups, bring a small group of participants together a few weeks after the training, and have a facilitated discussion about their experiences.
To talk about
their successes, their struggles, any unanticipated outcomes.
So stuff that maybe wouldn't come up in a survey or checklist.
Exactly.
Okay, so focus groups are great for getting those deeper insights beyond the numbers and really understanding what it's like to apply this training.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've walked through the template. We've considered all sorts of different ways to gather data at each level.
Right.
But now we have all this information. How do we make sense of it?
This is where the magic happens.
Okay.
Data analysis.
This is where I get nervous.
Don't be nervous.
Right.
We're going to take all this raw information and turn it into actionable insights.
Okay.
The template breaks down the analysis process for each level, and it prompts you to ask the right questions.
Okay, so starting with level 1,
Right.
our immediate reactions.
You can calculate averages, percentages, create charts and graphs to see trends in participant satisfaction.
Okay.
But more importantly, you're looking for meaningful patterns.
Okay.
For instance, if responses to the relevance of the content are consistently low, that's a sign that you might need to adjust the curriculum.
So even the level 1 analysis isn't just about the numbers.
It's not.
It's about those early warning signs.
Exactly.
That can help us improve the training.
Right.
Okay, what about level 2 data analysis?
All right.
We got our quizzes, our tests, maybe some performance assessments. How do we look at all of that?
With level 2, you're looking for patterns
Yeah.
that point to areas where participants might be struggling.
Okay.
Are there certain concepts they consistently miss on the quizzes?
Uh-huh.
Are there steps in the performance assessment where they stumble?
Right.
You want to use this data to diagnose weaknesses in the training.
Okay.
And then think about potential solutions.
So we're using the data to make the training better.
We are.
Not just to judge it.
That's right.
Okay, what about level 3? That's where we have our follow-up surveys. Observation checklists.
Yeah.
Focus group notes.
Right.
All this rich qualitative data.
It is.
How do we analyze that?
This can be the most challenging.
Oh, yeah.
But it can also be the most rewarding.
Okay.
Because it really provides the deepest insights.
Right.
You want to look for themes, patterns, and connections in the data.
Okay.
With the follow-up surveys, you're looking to see if people are actually using the new skills and knowledge on the job.
Yeah.
With observation checklists, you're looking for trends across multiple observations.
Okay.
Are there behaviors that participants excel at?
Yeah.
Or areas where they consistently need more support?
And focus groups.
Yeah.
We're looking for those recurring challenges, unexpected outcomes, those aha moments that can really lead to big improvements.
Yes.
So we're really digging beneath the surface here.
We are.
To understand how the training is being applied.
Exactly.
Or not in the real world.
That's right.
Okay, so we've analyzed all of this data.
Yeah.
We've got all these insights. What do we do now?
Now what?
Yeah, how do we actually use this information to make the training better?
That's the next step.
Does the template guide us through that too?
It does. It does. It really does. This is where the rubber meets the road, you know?
Right. We've analyzed all the data.
Yeah.
Got all these amazing insights. But how do we actually use them?
Right.
To make the training even better?
That's a good question.
Yeah. Does the template help us there too?
Absolutely. It doesn't just leave you hanging.
Okay, good.
With a bunch of data. It guides you through that whole process of turning those insights into action.
So it's like the final step in our recipe.
It is.
Taking all those ingredients and turning it into,
exactly,
a delicious final product.
It's like writing a really good argument.
Okay.
You've gathered all your evidence through the data collection, the analysis.
Yeah.
Now it's time to present your findings.
Okay.
And make a really strong case for why these changes or improvements are needed.
So we're not just reporting the data.
Right.
We're using it to advocate for action.
Exactly. And this is where the rubric comes back into play.
Okay.
You know those criteria about justifying your recommendations?
Yeah.
And connecting your findings back to the training outcomes?
Yeah.
This is where that really comes to life.
So it's like we're presenting our case to a jury using all of this data as exhibits to support our argument for a better training program.
That's a great way to put it. And the template helps structure that presentation.
Okay.
It prompts you to think about some key questions.
Okay, like what?
What were the most important findings from each level? How do they relate to your original training objectives?
Yeah.
And what actions would you recommend to enhance the program?
So the template is giving us a framework to
To
present a really strong argument for improvement.
Exactly.
Like having a good lawyer on our side.
Exactly. Let's say your level 3 data shows participants are really struggling to apply a particular skill.
Right.
You wouldn't just state that as a finding. You dig deeper into the why.
Yeah, why is that happening?
Yeah. Was it because the training didn't provide enough practice?
Okay.
Was there a lack of support in the workplace? By exploring the reasons, you can make a much stronger case for specific solutions.
So connect the dots.
Connect the dots.
Tell the story.
Tell the story with the data.
And don't forget the visuals.
Right. Charts, graphs, quotes from focus groups. Those can really bring your findings to life.
Make them more interesting.
For your audience, which is often key
Yeah.
to getting buy-in for your recommendations.
So it's not just about the numbers.
No, it's not.
It's about telling a story
It is.
that people connect with.
And speaking of people,
Mm.
remember that your evaluation design plan
Yeah.
is a communication tool. It's about sharing those valuable insights
Yeah.
and influencing decisions about the training.
Okay.
So you're not just evaluating to evaluate.
Right.
You're trying to drive change
Positive change.
within the organization.
Exactly. All right, let's put all of this together.
Okay.
Imagine we've done a training program on conflict resolution.
Okay.
And our level 1 data shows high satisfaction.
Yeah, everybody loved it.
Yeah, great facilitator, great materials.
Okay.
But then level 3 data reveals
Yeah.
conflicts are not actually going down.
Interesting. So what happened?
Yeah, what do we do?
That's where the detective work comes in. You've got to figure out why there's this disconnect between those positive reactions and the lack of impact.
On the actual behavior.
You've got to look back at your data
That's
and
right.
consider different possibilities.
Like what?
Well, maybe the training was too theoretical.
Okay.
Maybe it didn't have enough practice.
In real-world scenarios.
Exactly.
So we might recommend adding some role-playing.
It's
More
about
simulations.
simulations based on those insights.
Okay.
Or maybe there's other organizational issues.
Like what?
Like a culture of conflict avoidance.
Okay.
Or a lack of support for employees who try to address things.
Yeah.
In that case, you might recommend additional interventions.
Okay.
Like coaching for managers.
Okay.
Or creating peer support networks.
So the template helps you.
It does.
To think through these different layers.
Of impact.
Yeah. This is where the evaluation design plan goes beyond just the training itself.
It does.
And starts to look at the organization.
It's all about seeing that bigger picture.
Yeah.
And how all these different factors impact training effectiveness.
And the template helps keep that in mind.
It does.
This has been an incredible deep dive.
It has.
Into the world of evaluation design plans.
Yeah.
We've talked about everything.
Everything.
From the rubric and the template to data analysis and real-world application.
So what are some key takeaways for our listeners?
Yeah, great question. Well, first,
I
think it's so important to remember that evaluation is not just a box to check.
It's not.
It's a tool for continuous improvement.
Continuous improvement.
So embrace that rubric.
Use the template.
Yeah, use the template.
Be thoughtful about your data.
Exactly.
And how you analyze it.
And tell a story.
Tell a story.
With that data.
Yeah, a story that highlights the impact of your training.
Yes.
And helps drive those changes.
Meaningful change.
Meaningful change in your organization.
It might seem daunting.
It might.
At first.
But with the right approach, it can become a really powerful tool.
An indispensable tool.
To make your programs truly impactful.
Well, thank you so much for taking us on this deep dive.
It's been my pleasure.
I hope our listeners feel inspired and ready to tackle
I so too.
Their own evaluation design plans.
Absolutely.
Until next time.